We are starting our new notes in our orange packet. We are going to kick things off with function versus relation notes and domain and range notes. If I scroll, we should be on page 5. You will know you're in the right spot because look, page numbers. Okay, so hopefully you feel as blessed by that as I do. I'm going to make this full width so I have a little more room to write. And we are going to kick things off by looking at basically functions. That's our topic. What do domain and range tell us about functions? So holy vocab, we're diving in, lots of vocab just to kick things off and start us off on a great note. Domain, I'm going to use the color blue. Anytime I talk about domain, I'm going to write it in blue. Range is going to get this orangey yellow color. Okay? So that being said, let's take some time and talk about these first two functions. First of all, domain. Domain, all possible x values. Range, my orange color, all possible y values. Okay, so if I look at this particular table, x is my domain. So my domain, I'm just going to make a list of all the numbers. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. My range is my y's. And again, I'm just going to make a list. 3, 11, 19, 27, 35. As I come over here to the graph, this gets a little bit different. My domain is all my x's, so I need to look at the x-axis and work left all the way over to the right side of the graph. Okay? So in the terms of the graph, the domain, I work left to right. And with this, I'm going to introduce you to some cool notation called interval notation. An interval notation uses brackets or parentheses, most of the time brackets. The farthest left this graph goes is -4. The farthest right this graph goes is +4. So that symbolism tells me that my graph goes left to right, -4 to +4 for the domain. When I think about range I work I like to think low to high. In other words, how low does this graph go? Well, it goes down to -3. And then it goes up to +3. Okay? So a quick little side note. We use brackets unless the spot in the graph we're looking at has an open circle. Then we use parentheses, and I promise I'll show you what that looks like in action. Okay? So that's domain and range when we're looking at a graph. Here's why this matters. To be a function, each number in the domain x values. Let's bust out that blue to kind of really make it bedazzle. Each number in the domain can be used only once. So here's what this means. You're going to be asked to determine if something is a function or not if you're given a list of ordered pairs or a table. Oops. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to check the x's. Okay. So I'm going to just run through these and look at the x's in each part. I'm doing domain, so I'm going to use blue. And I'm just going to look. This x is 6, -4, -7, negative. Not a function because the -7's double up. Okay, that was kind of a bummer. We're going to keep going with this. We're going to see what we can make happen. Let's check the next one. 0, 3. So far, so good. 0. Not a function. The zeros doubled up. I don't even care that, you know what, that last number is a 6. It doesn't even matter. Once I had those zeros doubled up, right here and right here, that's a bummer, dude. Let's go to the next row. 6, -7, so far so good. -8, so far so good. -9. Yes! This is a function. I'm gonna put a little happy face. Okay. And the last one, -5, 0, negative. Last one's not a function. Not a function. That's what we do if we have ordered pairs. Sometimes we'll be given graphs. Graphs, we use what's called the vertical line test. Okay. Vertical line test, kind of like your driver's test. If you pass the vertical line test, you get to be a function. If you pass your driver's test, you get to be a function. Here's how we do it. Vertical line test means we put vertical lines on our graph. As long as the graph, those vertical lines only touch one spot of the graph at a time, then we get to pass. So this one is a yes. That's totally a function. Let's come over to our other option. Okay. Here, this is not a function. Reason is that vertical line crosses in 2 places. And that's why that's not a function. Lots of vocab here, lots of information, lots of kind of keywords. I promise we'll get the opportunity to practice this. You should have written this down on page 5 of your note packet. So please